हरि ओम क्वणत्काञ्चीदामा करिकलभकुम्भस्तननता परीक्षीणा मध्ये परिणत शरच्चन्द्रवदना धनुर्बाणान् पाशं श्रेणिमपि दधाना करतलैः पुरस्तादास्तां मनः पुरमथितुराहो पुरुषिका. Welcome to Lalita Sahasranamam class. Today is actually a very important day. So before going into the class, this day has got many specialities. So at least for people living in the US, today is Shri Krishna Jayanti. Today is also something called as Bhanu Saptami. So whenever the Saptami Tithi falls on Sundays, those days are called as Bhanu Saptami. These are there are very special day and tithi or day and nakshatra combinations, which are supposed to be very good, and it yields a lot of benefits for those who do upasana, japam, parayanam, etc. So Bhanu Saptami, and then Ama Somavara Vratam, that is Amavasi and Somavaram, when they come together, that is a special unique day. There is also another yoga called as Budhanurada. Buddhan, like, a Wednesday and the Anusha Nakshatram or Anurada Nakshatram, that is supposed to be a very special combination. Bhaumashwini, that is Tuesday and Ashwini Nakshatra, that is supposed to be a very unique combination. Guru Pushya, that is Guruvaram and Pushya Nakshatram. If that comes, that is supposed to be a very special combination. Like that, today it is Bhanu Saptami, that is Saptami Tithi that comes in Bhanuvasaram. Bhanu is Sunday. Saptami is very special for Surya, and Sunday is also, as the name indicates, it is Bhanuvara. It is also auspicious for Surya. So if both of them comes together, it is supposed to be a very special yoga. And Shastra says, whatever japams that we do today, it will yield the benefits of, if you do japa during an eclipse, if you do japam during a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, if you do dhanam during eclipse time, that is supposed to be yielding, 1,000-fold more benefits or 10,000-fold more benefits. The same way, whatever japam, dhanam or parayanam or puja that we do today during the Bhanu Saptami day, it is supposed to be yielding very good benefits. So for those who are living in places where Bhanu Saptami exists today, you guys can please make use of that. Today is also Shri Krishna Jayanti, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So there is also a shloka, Ekaiva Shakti Parameshwarasya Bhinnas Chaturdha Viniyoga Kale Bhoge Bhavani Samareshu Durga Kopeshu Kali Purusheshu Vishnuhu. That is a Tantra shloka. So the same Shakti of Parameshwara, the same Maya Shakti of Parabrahman, depending upon its action, depending upon how it acts, depending upon what the Maya does, it has got different meanings. Ekaiva Shakti Parameshwarasya. There is only one Shakti for Parameshwara. There is only one Maya Shakti for Parabrahman. Bhinnaha Chaturdha Viniyoga Kale. During the Viniyoga Kala, depending upon how it acts, it is said to be 4 in number. Bhoge Bhavani. When the universe is created, that Maya Shakti is called as Bhavani. Samareshu Durga. When that Shakti fights with the evil doers, it is called as Durga. Kopeshu Kali. When that Shakti is filled with Rajoguna, the same Shakti is called as Kali. Purusheshu Vishnuhu. When that same Shakti take a Puman, take a male form, that same Shakti is called as Vishnu. So there is no Bheda between Ambal and Vishnu. That is why Parameshwara takes the form of Shankara Narayana. The same Parameshwara, the same left side he gives to Ambal in Ardhanarishwara. So if we read Devatin Kural, Mahapariva talks a lot about the non-difference between Ambal and Mahavishnu. So Krishna and Mahavishnu and Ambal, they are all one and the same. Narayani, Nadarupa, Namarupa, Vivarjita, Srishtikartri, Brahmarupa, Goptri, Govinda Rupini, the Namallam Varapurth. So the length தெரியுது அம்பாளும் கிருஷ்ணரும் அபின்னம் அப்படின்னு ஷியாம கிருஷ்ண அப்படின்னு சேர்த்தே வந்து பாட்டெல்லாம் பாடியிருக்கான். ஸோ அம்பாளும் கிருஷ்ணரும் அபின்னம். ஸோ டுடே இஸ் Krishna Jayanti, and the same time this is also Durga Jayanti. Normally lot of people know Krishna Jayanti, but you know, if we read Bhagavatam, Ambal Yogamaya as Yogamaya Yashoda Garbha Sambhava. In the Yashoda's Garbha, Yogamaya will be born after Krishna, and Vasudeva will go to Nandagopa. When Krishna is born to Devaki, we all know the story, right? Vasudeva will take Krishna from the Karagraham, and he takes Krishna to Nandagopa's house. And in Nandagopa for Devaki, in Nandagopa for in Nandagopa's house for Yashoda, Ambal Durga Devi as Yogamaya will be present, will be born, and Vasudeva takes that Yogamaya to the Karagraham, and we all know how it happened. So the Rasama onu solluva, when Kamsa, he wanted to destroy, he was basically destroying every child that were born to Devaki and Vasudeva, right? So this 8th son was born, Krishna was born, and Krishna was taken to Nandagopa's house, and from Nandagopa, Vasudeva took Ambal. Vasudeva took Yogamaya or Ambal. That Ambal is called as Durga. He takes Durga and he comes and he replaces Krishna with Durga in the Karagraham. And Kamsa, he comes to the Karagraham. The way he kills them is so crucial. What he does is that he would basically hold on to the toes, hold on to the legs of the newborn baby, and then he will, you know, spat them in a stone or something like that. துணி துவைக்கிற மாதிரி அப்படியே காலை பிடிச்சு பண்ணுவான் போல இருக்கு. And when he did the same thing to Ambal, so Vasudeva, Kamsa, he grabbed the legs of Durga, now Yogamaya, and he basically did something like this. So he raised his hands in order to, strike the small baby against a stone. What Ambal did was, she left Kamsa's hand. She slipped from Kamsa's hand and she took a Vishwarupa, and she basically said to Kamsa, "Hey Muda, your edri, your enemy has already been born. He's already there, and he's growing somewhere else." And so Bhashyakartas, they were all will be saying, why did Ambal wait for Krishna to kill Kamsa? Ambal herself could have killed Kamsa, right? So they say Ambal could have killed Kamsa, but Kamsa, he held on to the baby's toes. He held on to Ambal's padam. So it is kind of a Sharanagati, and that is why they say Ambal did not kill Kamsa then and that, because Ambal and Krishna, they are non-different, and she could have easily, as Yogamaya, as Mahamaya, she could have easily killed Kamsa. But because Kamsa held on to Ambal's legs, Ambal's feet, Ambal said, "Okay, I'm going to forgive you right now, but know that your enemy is already been won." And that Ambal is called as Durga, because it comes in Durga Saptashati, comes in Devi Mahatyam, Yashoda Garbha Sambhuta, Vindhyachala Nivasini. I will be born in Kali Yuga to Yashoda, and after being born, I will go to Vindhya mountains and I will make that as my home, Ambal says. So, because last class we saw the same Durga, Durlabha, Durgama, Durga, Dukkahantri, Sukhaprada. So last class we saw Durga, and today Ambal is born. So I thought I will just mention it. And the next namas we should see is from Shloka number 51. Dushta Dura, Dura Achara Shamani, Dosha Varjita, Sarvagnya, Sandra Karuna, Samanadhika Varjita. Dushta Dura. Dushta means those who do not follow Dharma Shastra are called as dushtas. Those who do not follow Dharma Shastra, those who do not follow the Shastric injunctions are called as dushtas. And Ambal cannot be obtained by those dushtas. Dushta Dura. Ambal will move away from those dushtas. Now, the next question comes. So, all these things are, we can imagine a conversation going on between the Vagdevis. There are 8 Vagdevis and all of them composed. So we can imagine one Vagdevi composed the Nama and then the other Vagdevi will ask a question. Hey, you have composed this Nama, but what happens when this happens? So you can sort of imagine an imaginary conversation. So when one Vagdevi said Dushtadura, and the next Vagdevi would have asked, hey, the first Nama we did, what did we do? We did Shri Mata. And now you are saying Dushta Dura. Ambal cannot be obtained by those Dushtas. If Ambal is definitely Shri Mata, if Ambal is really Shri Mata, then how can a mother hate her son? You know, there is a shloka. There can be a Kuputra, there cannot be a Kumata. Meaning, there can be a bad son, but there cannot be a bad mother. Even when the sons are bad, the mother will always love the son, right? So when one Vagdevi said Dushta Dura, Ambal cannot be obtained by Dushtas, the another Vagdevi, these are all imaginations. The another Vagdevi asked this question, hey, Ambal is Shri Mata, what are you talking? Ambal can be obtained by everything, just like how even a bad son will go back to the mother. When the bad son go back to the mother, mother will wholeheartedly accept that son. How, why are you saying Dushtadura? Then the same Vagdevi composed the next Nama. Yes, she is Dushtadura, but she is also Durachara Shamani. Why those people are called as Dushtas? Those people are called as Dushtas because they are not following Shastric injunctions, because they are not following Sad Achara, they are following Dur Achara, meaning bad Achara. So what does Ambal do? Ambal will first deplete their Durachara. Ambal, what she first does, she will basically remove all the Duracharas. She will basically remove all the bad things from them. And once the bad things are removed, then these peoples are not dushta now. These people are sishta, and Ambal can be easily obtained by sishta. So when we say dushta dura, it is not that Ambal banished all the dushtas onto a hell. No, that is not happening. What is happening? Ambal depletes, Ambal banishes their bad achara, their bad activities, durachara, durachara shamani. Ambal will decrease all their durachara, and now all those dushtas will become sishta, and Ambal can be easily obtained from bhakta, obtained by bhaktas. Bhakti priya, bhakti gamya, bhakta saubhagya dayini. Says durachara shamani. We can also, take this nama as a in another way. What another way? Because all these namas, I said, these namas will have two meanings. All these namas. One, what is the quality of Ambal? And another, what will Ambal provide to her devotees. Dushtadura, Ambal will also keep all the dushtas away from her devotees. Dushtadura, Ambal will keep all her devotees away from those dushtas. You know, in Abhiramiyanda, the Abhirama Pattar says, Arindhen Yavarum Ariyamalai Arindu Kondu Serindhen Ninadu Tiruvadikke Tiruve வெறுவி பிரிந்தேன் நின் அன்பர் பெருமை எண்ணாத கருமனெஞ்சால் மறிந்தே விழும் நரக குறவாய மனிதரையே. Hey Ambal, I fell at your feet, and now why should I be having any contact with all these people? பிரிந்தேன் நின் நின் அன்பர் பெருமை எண்ணாத கருமனெஞ்சால் மறிந்தே விழும் நரகுக்கு உறவாய மனிதரையே பிரிந்தேன். It automatically happens when I fall in your feet. I will automatically dissociate from all those dushtas. Dushtadura, durachara shamani. And next nama, dosha varjita. What is dosha varjita? First meaning is Ambal does not have any dosha. Ragaswarupa pashadya krodha karankushojvala. Raga and Dvesha, these are called as doshams. And Ambal, since she has her Kama Krodha under her hands, Ambal is dosha varjita. Also, Ambal removes all the doshas from her devotees as well. அன்றே தடுத்து என்னை ஆண்டு கொண்டாய் கொண்டது அல்ல என்கை நன்றே உனக்கு இனி நான் என் செய்யினும் நடுக்கடலுள் சென்றே விழினும் கரையேற்றுகை நின் திருவுளமோ ஒன்றே பல உருவே அருவே என் உமையவளே says says Abhirama Pattar. Even if I go voluntarily, if I go and if I want to fall into the ocean of samsara, hey Ambal, I did Sharanagati to you. Andre Tadutthi Ennai Aandu Kondai. I did Sharanagati to you. So you will remove all my doshas. This is a very important quality, is often emphasized in lot of texts. So our Sanatana Dharma is not only about worshipping a Bhagavan. Our Sanatana Dharma is not only, practicing religion, but our Sanatana Dharma is all about leading a good life. Manattukkan Masilan Adal Anaitharan Agula Neerapira, says Thiruvalluvar. Only that person, Manattukkan Masu Ilan. Masu Ilan. Masu means dosha. Masu Ilan, the one who is devoid of all the doshas, dosha varjata, manattukkan masilan adal anaithu aran. What is real dharma? It is having no impurities in somebody's heart, having no dosha in somebody's heart. That is real aran. Agula nirapara, all the other things, all the other puja, all the other things that you do, it is only for pomp. It will not help you, says Thiruvalluvar. And Ambal as dosha varjita, the exact translation for dosha varjita is Manattukkan Masilan. Manattukkan Masu Ilan. Masu means dosha. Ilan, Masu Ilan is dosha varjita. And Manattukkan Masilan, one who does not have any dosha in his heart. So Manattukkan Masilan Ilan Adal Anaithilan Agula Neerap. So all these three namas, even though these three are three separate namas, Dushtadurayai Namaha, Durachara Shamanyai Namaha, Doshavarjitayai Namaha, even though all these three namas are different namas, but we have to take them into the same context. So up to this, one theme of Lalita Sahasranama is over. What is the theme? Nirguna Brahma Upasana, Nirlepa, Nirmala, Nitya, Nirakara, Nirakula. So all those namas, what is the prefix? Nihi, Nir. All those namas have the prefix Nir. So from shloka number probably 44, Nirlepa, Nirmala, Nitya, Nirakara, Nirakula, Nirupaplava, Nirvikara, Nishprapancha, Nirashraya, Nitya Shuddha, Niravadya, Nirantara, Nishkarana, Nishkalanka, Nirupadihi, Nirishwara. All these things has got a slight negative connotation. So whenever we say Nirguna, even though we can reason out why Nirguna is the most superior, but when we say it, it has a people, for the uninitiated people, it will have a small negative connotation, right? So we can imagine one Vagdevi composed all these namas, and the next Vagdevi says, hey Vagdevi, I am basically going to say the same thing, but I'm going to put it in a different way. Half glass empty, half glass full. That logic we can see, we would have heard, right? So if in a glass, if there is water only to the half, some people will say, okay, half glass is empty. Some people will say half glass is full. Both are right. But when we say half glass is empty, we are only looking at the absence of something. When we say only half glass is full, we are looking at the presence of something. In the same way, this Nirguna aspect of Ambal can also be interpreted in a different way. So the next Vagdevi, she is going to do the second interpretation. All these namas will have many. Sarva, Maha. Sarva means all. Maha means, big. So she is basically going to say the same thing, but she is going to put a positive spin around those namas. How is that even possible? If something is absent, something is absent. If everything is present, then everything is present. You cannot make any connection between those two, right? Even I did not understand, this thing until I read something about some quantum physics. You guys all have heard some quantum physics. Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger's equation. What does he say? Unless you observe something, all the states are simultaneously existing. We will see Schrodinger's equation. Where is electron present inside an atom? That will be the question. And Schrodinger will say, until you see the electron at a particular place, the electron is always present in all the places. There is only one electron, but that electron will be simultaneously present in all the places until somebody observe. It is a very beautiful concept. Here we can extend that to Vedanta. Until somebody has one name, that person is going to see whatever names you call it them. Like say there is a baby. For a small baby, the baby does not associate itself with his name. Like say the baby is named as Rama. The baby, when during the formative years, the baby will not associate itself with the name Rama. So whatever name you call them, the baby is going to turn. So what does that mean? The baby, whatever sound that comes out of your mouth, the baby is going to think, okay, somebody is calling me, somebody is, wanting my attention. So I have to give them my attention. But as the baby progresses, then the baby will start to associate itself with only one name. So if you call the baby Krishna, he is not going to turn. If you call the baby as something else, it is not going to turn. Only if you call the baby as Rama, the baby is going to turn. In the same way, Ambal, she does not have any name. That is why she has all the names. She does not have any guna. Any guna means what? Nirguna. If somebody does not have any guna, then they have nirguna. If somebody does not have any one name, then they have nirnama. Nirnama. So if they don't have any one name, then they can be called potentially with all the names possible. If they don't have one guna, then they potentially have all the gunas that are associated with them. If an electron is not observed, it is potentially present in all the possible places, simultaneously present in all the possible places. Take a lump of clay. A lump of clay potentially will have all the objects inside, or or a stone. Take a granite stone. A stone will have all the Swami Vigrahams inside, but once the sculpture starts to sculpt a sculpture, a statue out of it, all the statues, all the Bhagavan's Murti will be existing in that stone simultaneously. In the same way, the same Ambal previously was called as Nirguna, and now the same Ambal is going to be called as Sarvaguna. Previously, we said there is no name for Ambal. Now we are going to say Ambal has got thousands of names. Previously, we said there is no there is no guna for Ambal. Now we are going to say Ambal has got all the gunas. So because some people will find it difficult to accept and understand the Nirguna concept of Brahman, Vagdevis here they are going to say Sarva Guna for Ambal. Sarvajna, Sandra Karuna, சமானாதிக வர்ஜிதா. ஸோ சர்வ சக்திமயி, சர்வ மங்களா, எல்லாமே சர்வ சர்வ இல்ல மகா மகானே வந்துருக்கும். சர்வஜா, வாட் இஸ் meant by சர்வஜா? ஜ்ஞ, டு நோ. சர்வஜா, அம்பாள் knows everything. There is a Upanishad, there is a question that comes in Upanishad. Kasmin bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavatiti. The Shishya asks the Guru, hey Guru, what is that one thing by knowing which I become aware of all the things in this universe? Kasmin bhagavo vijnate sarvamidam vijnatam bhavatiti. What is that one thing? Because I'm so tired of reading. If I read physics, it is not complete. If I read math, it is not complete. So all I need to know is that one thing. If I know that, I should be aware of everything. I should have knowledge about all the things that are present in this universe. And that knowledge is called as Sarvajñatvam. The Shishya asks the Guru. The Guru, he will give a lot of answers, and finally he will say, hey Shishya, Brahman is that one thing you have to know. If you know Brahman, you will know all the other things in this universe. Why? Let us take gold and ornaments example. You have a lump of gold. All the gold and ornaments are made up of that lump of gold. You have a valayal, you have a mukutti, you have a todu, you have an earring, you have a haram. All those things are made up of gold. If you want to know about all the ornaments, if you know about the gold, you will know about all the ornaments. What is the melting point of valayal? What is the melting point of todu? You don't have to find the melting point of valayal separately. You don't have to find the melting point of todu separately. You don't have to find the color of haram separately. If you know the melting point of gold, you will know the melting point of all the ornaments. If you know the color of gold, you will know the color of all the ornaments. If you know the purity of gold, you will know about the purity of all the ornaments. So such knowledge exists. Which knowledge? That by knowing one thing, you will know about all the things. Such knowledge exists. What is that knowledge? What is the relationship between gold and the ornaments? Gold is the material cause of all the ornaments. So if you know about the material cause, you will know about all the effects. So gold is the cause, all the ornaments are effects. If I know about the cause, then I will know about all the effects. In the same way, if we extend it to the Srishti, all the Srishti came from who? All the Srishti, including this computer in front of me, including the lake in front of me, including the tree in front of me, all the Srishti galaxies, they all came from Brahman. So if I know Brahman, I will know about all the other things in this universe. That is why when Adi Shankaracharya, we say ascended Sarvajna Peetham. Why could he ascend Sarvajna Peetham? Because he is a Brahmajnani. He is the knower of everything because he knows about the cause of everything, which is nothing but Brahman. So Adi Shankara ascended Sarvajna Peetham in Kanchipuram and in Kashmira, Sharada, Kashmir. So in both of the places, he established that Brahman is the material, Brahman is the cause of the universe. And by knowing Brahman, you will know about everything else in this universe. That is why Ambal is called as Sarvajna, because Ambal knows about Brahman, and Ambal as Guru Mandala Rupini, Gurumurte Tvam Namami Kamakshi. She will also bless us with Sarvajñatvam as well. Why? Because she is Sandra Karuna. Okay, now we have to come back to our imaginary conversation between the Vagdevis. So when that Vagdevi who started to write, these namas, these set of namas, said Sarvajna, she knows everything. Okay, it is a positive attribute. The other Vagdevi said, hey, Vedanta, not a lot of people can understand. If you say Ambal is Sarvagnya, just to know the spelling of Sarvagnya. Sarvagnya, English la translate panna omniscient. These people do not even know the spelling of the word omniscient. Then how can they know about Ambal? How can they will understand that, okay, Ambal, they bless all of us with Sarvajñatvam. So this is the objection raised by the other Vagdevi, and the first Vagdevi who is composing this Nama, she said, hey, we don't have to worry. Why? Because Ambal is Sandra Karuna, Apara Karuna Sindhu. Ambal has got lot of Karunas. And who is that Ambal? There is no other person like Ambal. Samana, Adhika, Varjita. Varjita, absence. Samana, equal. Adhika, more. There is nobody who is equal to Ambal. There is nobody who is greater than Ambal. So Ambal will make them understand Sarvajñatvam. Ambal as Gurumurti, she will give all the things that are essential for that person. All what we need to do is just render ourselves onto Ambal. Sarvajna, Sandra Karuna, Samanadhika Varjita. Samanadhika Varjitana, தமிழ்ல வந்து ஒப்பாரும் மிக்காரும் இல்லாதவர்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? ஒப்பாரும் மிக்காரும், ஒப்பு யாரும் மிக்கு யாரும். ஒப்பு மீன்ஸ் ஈக்குவல், சமான. மிக்கு மீன்ஸ் அதிக, இல்லாதவள் வர்ஜிதா, உப்பாரும் மிக்காரும் இல்லாத அம்பாள். And she is also Sarvashaktimayi, Sarvamangala, Sadgati Prada, Sarveshwari, Sarvamayi, Sarvamantra Swarupini, Sarvashaktimayi. Ambal has got all the powers in hand. Ambal is literally surrounded by all the Shaktis. There is Bala, Triprasundari, there is Bhagalamukhi, there is Nityaklana, Berunda, Vannivasini, all those Shakti Sena of Ambal. Ambal Sena itself is called as Shakti Sena because it is filled with all the Shaktis. So Ambal has got a lot of Shakti, Sarva Shakti Mayi. And Shakti is also called as power. What do we say? If somebody does not have energy, what do we say? எனக்கு சக்தியே இல்லை அப்படிங்கிறோம். If somebody is very weak, what will they say? எனக்கு சக்தியே இல்லம்பா. They will not say எனக்கு சிவனே இல்லை, எனக்கு விஷ்ணுவே இல்லை, எனக்கு வந்து முருகனே இல்லைன்னு they don't say. All they say is எனக்கு சக்தியே இல்லை, because Ambal is that energy. Ambal is that force which is behind all of us. That is why Ambal is called as Sarveshwari, Sarva Shaktimayi. The next nama is Sarva Mangala, Mangalanam cha Mangalam. Ambal is an embodiment of auspiciousness. Ambal will also bless us with all the auspiciousness that is needed. Sarva Mangala. And Sadgati Prata. Gati means way. Sadgati, Ambal will show us the good way. We don't know what is good way. We don't know what is the bad way. Ambal will show us everything. That is why Abhirama Pattar says, Andre தடுத்து என்னை ஆண்டு கொண்டாய் கொண்டது அல்கை நன்றே உனக்கு இனி நான் என் செய்யினும் நடுக்கடலில் சென்றே விழினும் கரையேற்றுகை நின் திருவிழமோ உன் கையில் பிள்ளை உனக்கே அடைக்கலம் என்று அப்படிலாம் வந்து திருவெம்பாவையில பார்க்கணும் இல்லையா? So I completely surrender to you. It is your duty to bless me with the good path. That is why Ambal is called as Sadgati Prata, Sarveshwari, Sarvamayi, Sarva Mantra Swarupini, Sarva Ishwari. Ishwari means she is the master of everything. She is the master of even Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. So that is why Ambal is called as Sarveshwari. And then Ambal is called as Sarvamayi. Ambal is everything. Mayi na vyapichirukkaradu. Sarvamayi. Ambal is everything. Kakkai chiraginile Nandalala. Undan கரியநிறம் தோன்றுதடா நந்தலாலா, கேட்கும் மரங்கள் எல்லாம் நந்தலாலா, உந்தன் கீதம் இசைக்குதடா நந்தலாலான்னு பாரதியார் பாடுறாருல. எங்கெங்க காணினும் சக்தியடா. Whatever things I see, I only see Ambal. That is called as Vishwarupa Darshanam. That is the real Vishwarupa Darshanam. So Ambal is called as Sarvamayi. Kiliye, கிளைங்கர் மனத்தே கிடந்து கிளர்ந்து ஒளிரும் ஒளியே, ஒளிரும் ஒளிக்கு இடமே, எண்ணில் ஒன்றும் இல்லா வெளியே, வெளிமுதல் பூதங்களாகி விரிந்த அம்மே. அம்பாள் தான் எல்லா பூதங்களாக விரிந்திருக்கிறாள். That is why Ambal is called as Sarvamayi and Sarva Mantra Swarupini. What is mantra? Mananat Trayate iti mantraha. That one which protects you when you do mananam of that thing is called as mantram. The definition of mantra is this: Mananat Trayate iti mantraha. That one which trayate, which protects you when you have that in mind, that is called as mantra. There is supposed to be Saptakoti Mahamantra. There is supposed to be 7 crore mantras, as it were. And Ambal is the Swarupam for all the mantras. Because Ambal is Bhasha Rupa, Brihatsena, Bhava Bhava Vivarjita. Whatever mantra that we say, it is going to have an Akshara. Ambal is in the form of Akshara. So Ambal is Sarva Mantra Swarupini, Sarva Yantratmika, Sarva Tantra Rupa, Manonmani, Sarva Yantratmika. So mantram, yantram, tantram. There are these 3 things. We will see a lot about these 3 things later as well. But here I will briefly say what is meant by mantra. Mantra, they are Shabdarashis. Meaning what? They are sound principles. They were not invented by anyone. Mantras, even mantra, yantra, tantra, all these things, they are not invented by anybody. They were only discovered by rishis. Mantras are discovered by rishis. Rishis themselves are called as mantra drashtas. They are not mantra kartas. They are mantra drashtas. They visualized the mantras that are present in the cosmos. In the cosmos, all the mantras are always present. But rishis, they had a special capacity to visualize those mantras. They had a special capacity to receive those mantras. It is like that Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is present all in my house, but only my phone and my computer can access the Wi-Fi. My cat cannot access the Wi-Fi. My slippers cannot access the Wi-Fi. My stove cannot connect to the Wi-Fi. Why? Wi-Fi is present, but my cat, my slippers, and my stove does not have a receiver to receive the signals of the Wi-Fi. In the same way, mantras are always present everywhere. We don't have the right receiver to tune into the frequency of that mantra. Rishis were those people who had a special receiver. When I say receiver, this is not a physical receiver. Because of their tapobalam, they can tune into that frequency of the mantra. And they did not keep those mantras for themselves. They revealed the mantras to everybody. And that is how mantras came. Mantras are Shabdarashis. They are sound principles which have been discovered by rishis and propagated by the rishis. That is called as mantra. Ambal is present in all the mantras. Now we have to see the next nama, Sarva Yantratmika. What is an yantra? We have seen Shri Yantra. It will be in a pictorial form, diagrammatic form. Mantras are sound form, Shabda Rupa, Shabda Rashi. Yantras are visual. You can see lines, circles. There will be tamare. There will be some funny looking letters. Those are not funny looking letters. They are bija aksharas which have to be ascribed into the yantras. So these things are called as yantras, and they are also abode of swamis. Before doing kumbhabhishekam, before doing pratishtha of any bhagavan in temple, below the Moolavar's vigraham, below the in the sanctum sanctorum, beneath the Moolavar vigraham, we will do the pratishtha of the yantra first. And whatever we do to the Moolavar, whatever we do to the statue, to the main deity statue, the power will be absorbed by, the mantra power will be absorbed by the yantra that is present beneath the Mulavar Vigraham. So, yantras can be two-dimensional or three-dimensional as well. Two-dimensional yantras normally we see. When we say, Mahameru, adala solrom illaya, they will be three-dimensional representation of the two-dimensional yantra. So, yantra can be two-dimensional and three-dimensional as well. There are several variants of yantras. Bhuprasthara is there, Kurma Prastara is there, Meru Prastara is there. All these things we will see at a later appropriate time. But now know that Ambal is in all the yantras, Sarva Yantratmika. And now comes Sarva Tantra Rupa. What are tantras? We have mantras here separately. We have yantras here separately. You have to connect the mantra and the yantra. Tantra is that thing which connects the mantra and the yantra. Which mantra I have to worship in order to worship the which yantra. If I want to worship Shri Yantra, Chakra Rajam or Shri Chakram, that is an yantra. I have to worship that yantra with a mantra called as Panchadasakshari or Shodashakshari. So the mantra is Panchadasakshari or Shodashakshari. The yantra is Shri Chakram. Tantra is the one that connects those two. Yantra is there, mantra is there. How do we know? Just like how we have Saptakoti Mahamantras, that means 7 crore mantras, we also have a lot of yantras. How do we know which mantra is to be worshipped with which yantra? How do we know what mode of worship we have to do in order to invoke that Ambal into that mantra or to that yantra? All these things are codified into Shastra called as Tantra Shastra. So Sarva Mantra Swarupa, Sarva Yantratmika, and Sarva Tantra Rupa. Mantra and Yantra are connected by Tantra. This is not an actual definition. I'm just telling this definition for us to understand right now. As we go into Lalita Sahasranama, we will see all these concepts very deeply. But just now, for just a bird's eye view understanding, we can have Tantra is something which connects mantra and the yantra, which tells how to do japam. Panchadasakshari japam, how to do Abhishekam of Ambal, how to do, how to worship Ambal in Shri Chakra, Patra Sadhanam, eppadi pandrathu, Visheshargyam, eppadi vekkiradu. So all those things will be codified into the text called as tantric text. And these texts are normally in the form of conversation between Parameshwara and Ambal. Ambal will be asking Parameshwara and Parameshwara will be answering Ambal's question. So whenever we take any Tantra text or any Agama text, it will be in the form of a conversation between Ambal and Parameshwara. So that is called as Sarva Tantra Rupaha. Next Nama is Manonmani. Manonmani has got a lot of meanings. So one meaning of Manonmani, it is a point in between our Agnya Chakra and Sahasrara. Between Agnya Chakra and Sahasrara, Manonmani, it is a point. So that Ambal is in the form of Manonmani, in that point, in that chakra. That is why Ambal is called as Manonmani. Mana Unmani. Manonmani, it is a state of mind. State of mind is also called as Manonmani. What is that? When, yoga books say, when you are neither inhaling nor exhaling, when you are neither closing the eyes nor opening the eyes, when you are neither thinking about something nor thinking about anything, such state is possible according to yogic text. That, according to tantric text, that state is called as Manonmani. You are neither inhaling nor exhaling. You are neither opening your eyes nor closing your eyes. You are neither thinking about anything. You are not thinking about anything. So that state, that balanced state, that state is called as Manonmani, and Ambal will bless those devotees to that state. That is why Ambal is called as Manonmani. Manonmani, it is also a Shakti. When we go to Shivan temple, they will have an Utsava Vigraham of Ambal in the Garbhagraham. That Ambal is called as Manonmani. Whatever Shivan temple we will go, Ambal will be present on her separate Sannidhi. But along with Shiva in the Shivan Sannidhi, there will be an Ambal. That Ambal is called as Manonmani. Vamadevaya namo Jeshthaya nama Sreshtaya namo Rudraya namakkalaya namakkala vikaranaya namo bhala vikaranaya namo bhalaya namo bhala pramatanaya nama sarva bhutatamanaya Namo Manonmanaya Namaha. These are various aspects of Parameshwara. When we say Vamaye Namaha, Jeshthaya Namaha, Raudra Vamadeva, and his Shakti is Vamaye Namaha. Vamadeva Yanamo Jeshthaya Namaha. Ambal is called as Jeshthi. Vamaye Namaha, Jeshthi Namaha, Raudre Namaha, Kalye Namaha, Kalavikaranye Namaha. Balavikaranye Namaha, Balapramathamanye Namaha, Sarvabhutatamanye Namaha, Manonmanye Namaha. These are the Shaktis of the corresponding Devata. So Manonmani will also represent that Shakti. Manonmana Shakti is called as Manonmani. Maheshwari, Mahadevi, Mahalakshmi, Mridapriya. Maheshwari, Mahaishwari, Mahati Ishwari is Maheshwari. Ambal is the Lord of everyone. Shivashaktya yuktaha yadi bhavati shakta prabhavitum nachedevam devo nakhal kushala spanditumapi atasvam aradhyam harihara virinchadi prapi pranantum stotum va khatamakritaha Punya Prabhavati. You are the Shakti of Parameshwara, Brahma, Vishnu, everybody. So you rule over all of those things. So that is why all of those gods, that is why Ambal is called as Maheshwari, or Ambal is the Shakti of Maheshwara. Maheshwaranuடைய Shakti is called as Maheshwari. Maheshwari and Mahadevi. Mahati means so big. Mahadevi is that Devi which is so big, so powerful. It's called as Maha. That is why this Bhumi is called as Mahati. The earth is called as Mahati because earth is so big, right? So earth is called as Mahati, or even this universe can be called as Mahati. Mahati Samsara Chakre. இதெல்லாம் வந்து நம்ம இதுல படிக்கிறோம். Mahati Samsara Chakre. இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஆவணியாவட்டம் சங்கல்பத்துல வரும். So whatever thing that is big is called as Mahati. So Mahati Devi is Mahadevi. Ambal is so big. Ambal encompasses everybody. That is why Ambal is called as Mahadevi. Mahalakshmi. Ambal is also Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi is a Swarupam of Ambal. Saraswati is a Swarupam of Ambal. Vishnupatnim, Kshamam Devi, Madhavi, Madhava Priyam, Lakshmim Priyasakhim Devi, Namami Achyutavallabham. So Mahalakshmi can also refers to Vishnupatni. Mahalakshmi also refers to Lalita Parameshwari as well. Normally, when we say Mahalakshmi, we normally associate that deity with Vishnupatni, wife of Mahavishnu. But Mahalakshmi also means Lalita Parameshwari. That is why if you take the Lakshmi Sahasranama, many of those namas will refer to Sri Chakra. Many of those namas will refer to Panchadasakshari or Sodashakshari mantra. Many of those namas will refer to Sri Vidya because Ambal is also Mahalakshmi. And Mridapriya, Mrida is name of Parameshwara. Parameshwara Surupa, Bhava, Mrida, Hara, Bhaga, all those things are one of the names of Parameshwara. Mridapriya, Ambal is liked by Parameshwara. That is why Ambal is called as Mridapriya. Ambal also likes Parameshwara. That is why Ambal is called as Mridapriya. Next shloka. Maharupa, Mahapujya, Mahapatakarashini, Mahamaya, Mahasatva, Mahashaktihi, Maharatihi. See the star, see the contrast between the previous set of namas. In the previous set of namas, it is all no, no rupa, no nama, nothing, nothing, nothing. And this Vagdevi, she said, okay, I'm going to do positive spin on that same concept. So she is saying Maharupa, Mahapuja, all the Maha prefix she is adding. So Maharupa, she is having every rupa that is possible. If someone does not have any one Swarupa, that is, same example of a stone. That stone, it does not have one Rupa. So if you want to do Brahma, you can, carve Brahma out of that stone. If you want to carve Vishnu, you can carve Vishnu out of that stone. If you want to, no Brahma, no Vishnu, I want to use that stone as a stepping stone to the temple, you can do that as well. So because that stone is empty, because that stone does not have any rupa of its own, it has infinite possibilities. That is why you can say a Maharupa to that stone as well. In the same way, Ambal does not have one rupa. Whatever rupa which we saw earlier, Kundalini Swarupa, Mantra Swarupa, even the Stula Swarupa, they are one of the forms, but they need not necessarily be the only forms. Because Ambal is Arupa, she can also be Maharupa, whatever rupa which the devotee wants, Ambal can take that form. அவரவர் தமதமது அறிவறி வகைகள் அவரவர் இறையவர் குறைவிலர் இறையவர் அவரவர் விதிவழி அடைகின்றனரே, says நம்மாழ்வார் in திருவாய்மொழி. Whatever the deity you want to follow, you will follow. அவரவர் இறையவர் குறைவிலர் இறையவர், because they are all the forms of the same Swarupam. There is no Dharadamyam between any Rupa. Shiva is not lower, Vishnu is not higher, Ambal is not lower, Kanda is not higher, because all of these things, they go to only one Swarupa. That is why Ambal is called as Mahaswarupa, because she encompasses everybody. Mahapujya, she is being worshipped by the likes of what? Brahma, Vishnu, Parameshwara, Kubera, etc. That is why Ambal is called as Mahapujya. She is being worshipped by the likes of Brahma, Vishnu themselves. Mahapadaka Nashini. Ambal will remove all the papas. When we do Gayatri Japam, we will say Mithyatita Prayas Chittartham, Sarvadosha Prayas Chittartham. For Avanyavatam, we will say Rasya Krita Papana, Prakati Krita Papa. Whatever Papa I do, because of this Nana that I am going to do now, let all the Papams be removed. Because of the Gayatri Japam that I am going to do, let all those Papams be removed. We do the Sankalpam. But how are those Papams removed? Who gave the authority for that mantra to remove all the papam? Who gave the authority for the water to remove all the papam? It is like that electricity. I have a fan, I have an AC, I also have a heater. The functions of these three things are different, but they cannot exist by themselves. They need to be backed by something called as electricity. In the same way, if water, doing Ganga Snana removes papam, chanting Gayatri Mantra removes papam, doing charity removes papam, following Dharma Shastra removes papam. All these things are what? Like those instruments. Mantra, it is like my microwave oven. Doing snanam, that water, it is like my water heater. How do they remove papa? Because all those instruments are backed by electricity. In the same way, all these instruments, mantram, tantram, yantram, japam, snanam, sandhya, japo, homa, devata, all the karmas, because they are backed by Ambal, they can remove all the papams. Bharatiyar, சூப்பரா ஒரு பாட்டுல சொல்லுவார், எண்ணிய முடிதல் வேண்டும், நல்லவே எண்ணல் வேண்டும், திண்ணிய நெஞ்சம் வேண்டும், தெளிந்த நல் அறிவு வேண்டும், பண்ணிய பாவம் எல்லாம் பருதிமுன் பணியே போல நன்னிய நின்முன் இங்கு நசித்திடல் வேண்டும் அண்ணாய். அவர் கேட்கிறார், பண்ணிய பாவம் எல்லாம் பருதிமுன் பணியே போல நன்னிய நின்முன் இங்கு நசித்திடல் வேண்டும். ஹே அம்பாளை பார்த்து அவர் வேண்டிக்கிறார், வாட் எவர் த பாபம்ஸ் தட் ஐ டூ, பண்ணிய பாவம் எல்லாம், they have to be destroyed. Like what அப்படின்னா, you place a you place an ice cube in front of that scorching sun. நல்ல ஒரு ஏப்ரல் மே மாசம் இந்தியால ஒரு ஐஸ் கியூபை வெளியில வச்சோம்னா என்ன ஆகும்? வித்தின் செகண்ட்ஸ் இட் வில் ரன் அவே. Not only it will become water, but because of that heat, it will even become water vapor, right? In the same way, Bharatiyar says, Hey Ambal, I am standing in front of you. Enniya mudidal vendum. Whatever I think, it has to be happening. Whatever I think, it has to happen. But he backs up that with nallave ennal vendum. Please give me good thought so that I will only be thinking about good, and whatever I think, it is going to happen. Thinniya nenjam vendum, telling them a little, I need to have nice strong mind, I need to have nice strong intellect. Thinniya nenjam vendum, telling them a arivu vendum. And then he says, அந்நிய பாவம் எல்லாம் பருதி முன் பணியே போல நன்னிய நன்குண் இங்கு நசித்திடல் வேண்டும் அன்னாய். Why he is requesting that in front of Ambal? Because Ambal is Mahapadaka Nashini. With this, I will finish this section today. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.